Today is May. Today's May 22nd, and it's a Thursday. And yesterday I had a conversation with an agent that just one, it gave me hope for what I'm doing, right? Because oftentimes it is challenging, especially because I've never been here before. I've never had to do this before. I've never been a real estate agent for 4 years. I've never had to scale a business. I've never had to really take it this is as high as this chair goes. I've never had to take it to really this level. And so what I'm finding out, or what I'm trying to work through, is the scaling process of it, right? And so I am just I'm I guess, yeah, challenges. I guess the challenges in this season of my life is how to scale, right? And so that the I know that this works because last year I was like super consistent. I understand that this market is a little bit different right now this year, and so I'm not discouraged. I'm simply just trying to figure out how to navigate and how to maneuver this market, right? An agent said something to me yesterday, and he said the biggest key to his success of 21 years in this real estate industry is the fact that he can adapt very well to the conditions of any market. And so he also dropped a lot of information. And some of that information that I took from this gentleman was that this is the biggest one that I'm going to do now. And so this journal. So he says that he actually has a journal that he puts in, and he makes notes of kind of what happened, on a daily basis, or what happened, what he's dealing with on a weekly basis. And so for me, I think that I'm going to use that because, quite honestly, I know that fundamental works. And you know how I know that is because I have a personal journal that I use when I'm going through challenging things in my life. And so I'm going to read a little bit just so you guys kind of see what I'm doing here, right? And so this entry right here was from October 9th, 2023. And it said slump, which is probably my mood. Slump. I did the gym. I edited a podcast. I made a reel. The video editing podcast all should have been done on Sunday or Friday and Saturday. Feeling like crap, depressed because I didn't call as much as I would have liked to. Some more personal stuff I don't really want to share in there. Really not happy with the results of my actions, and that's probably where the slump feeling came from. Thoughts that went right. I worked out, I finished the podcast, and made a trendy reel. And so that was one day. And then the next day, it says, overall, great day. Over an hour on the phone, generated 2 leads, gym in the morning, ran in the evening, dropped off the bike to get maintenance, need to create more content, meal prep more often, and read more. And then it goes on like this for probably a couple of years. And so there's here's another one. This is where I started kind of entertaining my faith thing and started going into this. And it says, the easy thing is to retreat. Opportunity is doing hard things. And so anti-work stuff is fear. I don't know. I don't know what this is. The quicker we can get people to taste failure and digest failure, the tougher and more resilient they become. The quicker we can get people to take, I have no idea where that came from or why I wrote that. Procrastination equals depression. Start with gratitude. What does this job do for me now? This is my work. How's my work helping a human a day? Self-awareness. There's just so much. Even like just general ideas of just random stuff that I put into this journal, and it's been super, super cool, We were doing a podcast, emotional stability. We were talking. And so all this journal has done is allowed me to log some of just the things that I'm taking a track record, right? We go to work when I was an operator, we would do something called the e-log. And so you would put on there, right? Like today, this was leaking. I put this, I put that, I fixed this, cleaned this up, noticed this, put a work order in for this, yada, yada, yada. And so what would happen is the night crew hopefully would come in and they'd check that out, or day crew, whatever was replacing them. Relief would come in and they would go back and they would look at that. And so over time, it helped us kind of create a log as to what we were seeing and what we were doing, right? And so I know that works because that company implements that. And then also too, I've done some work, and this book is almost full. And so for me, it just made sense. And so from now on, I think on a weekly basis, I'm just going to come in and just put these videos together. And so right now in my career, I have one listing here in the neighborhood, kind of where I live. And then the other one is I'm dealing with a lot of rentals. I'm having a lot of rentals come in my way, and I'm just noticing that trend, right? And so that's something that I'm doing. I'm also noticing that properties we're at about 4 months, no, 4.9, almost 5 months worth of inventory, right? And so things are slowly starting to kind of line out, I feel, right? I personally think that, I mean, obviously something's got to give, right? We can't run the way that we're doing right now. And so I think it's either going to have to be, as far as things that we can control as consumers, I think home prices are just going to have to come down a little bit if the Fed's not going to help us, right? And so inventory's catching up. We're almost at that 5 months. And I think a healthy economy or healthy industry, I think was like 5 or 6 months. And so we're definitely creeping up back to that inventory catching up. And so with that inventory now being something that we're not, it's not an issue, that only leaves home prices and rates. Well, if the Fed is not going to help us with home prices, then that leaves just this finger. And this finger is the home prices. And so I am starting to see a little bit of home prices starting to kind of, there will always be a hot commodity, right? Always, but that's a rare case. And so for me, it's been very, I don't know. I feel like home prices are going to have to kind of tweak a little bit. If this stuff stays where it's at, all we need is one or two people that their problem with their situation, whether it is downsizing, upsizing, relocating, or whatever it is, right? The initial problem as to why they're moving, right? And it's not just the house. People see houses and they're like, oh, it's just real estate. I was like, no, these are problems. Somebody has a problem. They need to either outgrow it, they need to relocate it, whatever. And so when you look at problems like that, or you look at real estate like that, then it's solutions that we're offering. And so with that being said, I feel like right now, that's just good. That's just what's gonna give. I'm seeing 30 days plus being the new trend on markets. Obviously, if there's something really unique or a really nice feature about your property, just like in anything, it's always gonna be a really demand, right? If it's a good deal and if it's a one-off type of property, it's always gonna move. But for the majority of these homes, the majority of this stuff, I mean, it's just kind of sitting on market, you know? And so I am also noticing concessions being something that people are offering. I am noticing that as well. I'm noticing insurance. It was a hot topic as of, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but I genuinely don't see that being the big concern right now anymore, right? I think we all kind of understand that is what it is. It's no longer kind of like new news, breaking news type of deal. And then what else? That's really it. I think that's really it where I'm at right now. I'm definitely seeing a lot more leads. I do have some buyers that are interested. I think everybody's just kind of on the fence as to kind of how they're going to navigate this deal. But that's really all I got. I don't want this thing to drag out. This is just a quick little, weekly entry of what I'm. Oh man, the whole time I've been talking like that. Dang, it's all right. Let me fix it. It's this chair. If I just scoot back, and I was trying to not watch the camera here because then I'm looking like this, and then I'm not like talking to you, right? And so definitely working on that, but. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of where I'm at this week. Challenges for me this week are just staying consistent in my marketing, staying consistent in what I'm doing. Definitely have had a couple of weeks of just good consistency. I'm guilty just as a business owner. I'm guilty of, sometimes you wonder if what you're doing is working, right? Sometimes you wonder if the results, you're showing up every day, you're giving it your all, you're putting 100% effort into this, or maybe 90% effort into this. And so you always wonder, could you be doing more, right? Could you be, do I want to go into this video? Yeah, that's fine. yeah, you always wonder if you could be if you could be doing more, right? I have no idea who this is. Oh, I know who that is. Yeah, you always wonder if you could be doing more, if you're missing out on, anything in particular. It's funny because there are old school agents that don't really leverage social media, and then they feel like they're missing out on something, right? And so then there is the new agents that are really driven on social media that kind of feel like they're missing out on that old school book of business, right? That the older tenants, clients have. Agents have. And so you're always going to feel like you're missing something. For me, I've realized that that's that shiny object syndrome. And so the one thing that I am just making a priority in anything and everything that I do is just doing the work. I think that I'm always looking for the next, big thing. I'm looking for the next shiny object thing, the next miracle thing that's going to come out and take my business to the next level, when in reality, the one thing I need to just hyper focus on is just showing up and doing the work. That's really it. And so I've noticed that about myself. And the more and more I talk to other agents that are also kind of walking the same journey of mine, it's the same thing that we're all kind of dealing with. And then you start talking to other entrepreneurs in other avenues and other industries, and it's the same thing across the board. We all feel like we're missing something. And in reality, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I'm just not showing up for myself 100% of the time. And then the results show that. And so if I'm not showing up, okay, if I'm not getting results and I look back at the things that I've done leading up to this point, then it's clear, right? But when I show up and I'm consistent for, 2-3 months, then the results come in. And so it makes sense that I'm seeing the trend through the journal, through the logging of the habits and the routine of everything that I'm seeing. When I'm not being proactive, or I'm not being intentional about my work, I don't get the results. When I get the reward from the results, I tend to ease off a little bit, right? And so when I ease off, then I get no results, and then I kind of question what's going on and what I'm doing wrong, or what's the next best thing? I could jump ship and go somewhere else and go do this, when in reality, all it comes down to is the fact that you do enough work to get a little bit of the cookie, of the pie, of the fruit, whatever you want to call it, and then you kick back and you relax, and then you're wondering why it slows down for you, and then you don't get the results that you want, and then you get a little depression, and then you end up going through like, is this it? Should I quit or do whatever? When in reality, all you could do is just do the work consistently over time, and don't worry about what happens, whether it's good or bad. Just show up and do work. And so that's kind of what I've been working on in my business, because I know I'm capable. I know of what I'm doing. I bring flavor, I bring energy, I bring fire to what I'm doing, and I'm passionate about what I'm doing, right? And so it's just a matter of staying consistent. But I'm giving myself grace because I've never been a business owner, and I've never had to kind of create or understand this about myself. I'm so used to going and punching the clock and just, doing that and being told, in a sense, kind of what to do, right? Now that it falls entirely on my shoulders, that's where the challenge of staying consistent and being in line with what's going on. And so that's just what I'm seeing right now. And that's where we're at. That's what we got going on. And this is just a weekly thing that I want to put together, just so that I can go back and look at a year from now where I was and what I had going on. So I hope this thing brings you some sort of information to you, to help you. And if not, then cool, whatever. It is what it is. This was just mainly for me, just to go back and be able to see where I'm at in this season of my life, right? I've got 1 listing. I've got 2 rentals that I'm working on. I've got 2 buyers that I'm working on right now. So business is there. I need to just stay disciplined. Peace. I don't know how to turn this off. Here we go.